Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has turned off the fasten seatbelt sign, indicating that it is safe to move about the cabin. For your own safety, though, we request that you keep your seatbelt fastened when you're in your seat during this short flight. We'll start our in-flight beverage service shortly.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
Good evening, everybody, and here we go again. Episode 11, and hopefully we can pass on some good information. And tonight I'm kind of hoping that we can get some good feedback and some information from people. As usual, thanks for joining in, Leo. I see you're here already. And tonight, Lonnie's joining me, and possibly Doug might be joining later. He's doing a high-speed trip back from Edmonton at the moment. so he may join us yet. Tonight, we're going to cover a couple of topics. And one of them, I was kind of hoping that we can get some good people joining into the group here and have a good discussion on group flies. Our first topic tonight is going to be about the DJI Fly App. I was part of 2 other broadcasts earlier this week, and in those groups, they had just a ton of questions about the Fly App, and there's a lot of misconceptions, shall we say, especially around ADS-B, if you're using the Air 2. And I was hoping that we could have people in here asking some questions, and we'll try and answer them. So either way, Lonnie, you've been just started using the Fly App for the Air 2. You've been using it on your Mini, right?
Yes.
What's your initial impressions right now?
It's going to take a bit to get used to. It's very simple compared to the DJI 4 app. I think it's kind of kept it a little bit simpler. Mm-hmm. Some of the stuff would be nice to have a little bit of work done to them. One of my biggest problems is, especially on your iPhones or whatever, you try and see the percentage of battery left, and it blends into the background of your screen, so it makes it really tough to see. So, of course, last minute, your phone's beeping at you. You've got a low battery, you better get it back home, right? So,
yeah,
that's the biggest beef.
That's been a common complaint that I heard on the other 2 shows, and everybody's been complaining about it. For those that aren't aware, there's kind of 2 versions out right now. There always will be. One is Android and one is iOS. The Android version is 1.14 and the iOS is 1.13. And in the version 1.14 on the Android, they've addressed that somewhat. It's still not great. The common thought is that if they were to change that color, because it's a light color and you're usually seeing that against the sky, so it disappears. Is that what you're feeling as well, Lonnie?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what? Pretty much a lot of that stuff across the top bar. Like it makes it hard to see, because I guess if you think about it, the 4 app had the black bar and everything was in that black bar.
Yeah.
Right? So now they're trying to utilize the whole screen, which I'm not sure is working at this moment.
Well, and the other question was, why did they go to the Fly app? Why didn't they just stick with the Go 4? And with the Mini coming out, one, they wanted to make a simpler app, because the Mini it's as entry level as you can get from DJI. So they wanted something simple. But realistically, the main reason is they went to the new transmission system. Right. Not a lot of people realize that was why they actually changed the app, is because the previous app used the OcuSync 2.0, and this uses a modified OcuSync 2.0, which required a new coding that wasn't available for the Go 4 app. So they decided they were going to dumb it down a little bit and make it compatible with the new OcuSync, the modified OcuSync. And when they came out with the Air 2, there was a few functions that were kind of lost on the Mini, and everybody complained about that. So why did you lose that? Is understanding how coding works. There is common code that has to work between all the drones that use that app. And so what they had to do was to try and find common coding that wasn't going to adversely affect one drone for the sake of the other. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And right now, DJI is in the process of bug squashing, for lack of a better term, getting rid of any issues, and then they will start adding in more features. One of the biggest common things that people are requesting, besides the lack of visibility for the top line there, but because DJI has promised the compatibility with the smart controller, that is coming. But the app currently does work with the smart controller, but the smart controller won't talk to the drone yet. And by drone, I mean the Mavic Air, not the Mavic Mini. That will come in the shape of a firmware update, which I believe should probably happen within the next couple of weeks. There should be a firmware update for the Mavic Air 2. But if you don't have a smart controller, it's kind of so what. There will be a few other things. And once they've done the bug squashes, then they're going to start expanding some of the capabilities. So.
Yeah, I guess they got a base model in right now, right? So you get that out there, you get everybody working with it, finding bugs for them. I mean, obviously, the more copies you get out there, you're going to find that many more bugs. Get them all fixed up, and then you just start moving forward and growing on it, right?
Yeah.
And they did that with the DJI app as well.
Yep.
Right. They got to have a starting point, and then they'll just keep growing.
Mm-hmm. So overall, I kind of like the app, and part of the reason that I do like the app myself is you don't have to dig through the menus like you do with the Go4 app, right? It's a lot more intuitive. You can get to where you need to a lot simpler and a lot easier. Do you find that?
Absolutely. I mean, they dummied it down big time for even just your average person to be able to find stuff in there. Because you're right. I mean, the Go4 app, you had to jump through hoops sometimes just to find stuff. You sit there and you bang in your head. I remember seeing that. I know it's in here. I just couldn't remember where they hid it. Yeah.
And one of the other things that people were talking about was my ADS-B doesn't work, right? And part and parcel is a lot of people have to understand how ADS-B works. Like we're a little over a year behind the United States in ADS-B implementation, but for the most part, doesn't matter whether it's the US or Canada, you only need to have your ADS-B turned on, and I'm referring to a manned aircraft. It only needs to be turned on if you are going to fly in controlled airspace. And things like small aircraft and stuff like that, they'll squawk what's called 1200, right? And that not necessarily will give you any kind of an ADS-B signal. Things like crop dusters you'll probably never ever see ADS-B in those, right?
Yeah.
And then there's certain aircraft that are exempt from that because certain older aircraft don't have an actual electrical system.
Yeah.
So they can't run ADS-B. But as I said to those people, once we get farther down the road and we get over the COVID, and we get a lot more manned aircraft in the sky, that's when you're really going to notice it more, Because right now Doug would answer this a lot better, but we probably have about 5% of our aircraft in the sky of what we normally would. So
yeah, very little, very little.
So think of it as a future-proofing type thing.
Yep.
And yes, Leo, you're correct. It is a better menu, at least in my mind. Sorry, I didn't notice your comment there for a second. But yeah, anyway, the Fly app, give it a little bit of time. It will improve in time. Like I say, right now it's a little bit of bug squashing, and then they'll start adding the details to it. So just kind of bear with it. If you do have questions, post them in the group, and people will try and answer them for you.
Yep, absolutely. That's what we're here for.
Yep. Anybody else got any questions on the Fly app? Lonnie, you got anything you want to add or question?
That's what I can think of right now.
Okay.
Just wait for that upgrade.
Yep. Yeah, and those will be coming. At least my understanding is, talking to my secret sources. I really screwed up because I actually let it slip where one of my sources was the other night, and it was like, wow, you know that guy? And I go, yep.
Who? No.
Yeah. Still waiting for the avoid crashes feature. Well, I hate to tell you this, Dave, but I think we all are.
Yeah.
Quick shots of panorama for the Mini. I honestly don't know. I'm not going to put it out of the realm of possibility because the Fly app is so new. And actually, here's a good question because I've heard people complaining about it, not here, but more in one of the US groups that I run, about your device CPU is overloaded. Like, in other words, your cell phone or your tablet or whatever. Has anybody else had that one yet? Because that's another part that I wanted to explain too, and this is part of the reason why they went to the new app, and that is because now used to be the 90% of the work was all done on the drone. Now it's a shared workload between the drone and your display device. So having a good, powerful display device is really important. Or make sure before you fly, shut down all your apps other than the Fly app, and that will greatly improve your performance. So because what they've done is downloaded some of the duties that would normally be handled by the drone are being handled by your display device, and then it's, shall we say, transmitting the commands back to the drone for the drone to carry out. So hopefully that will help you a little bit on that issue.
That makes sense.
Does that help you out, Leo?
Hope so. A lot of these little tidbits, you don't.
Just so you guys know, there's about an 8 to 10 second delay from when we say something until you guys actually hear it. So sometimes I will do a little pause because I want to give you guys a chance to
we move on.
But anyway, on with the show. Next topic, let's talk about the group flies. We've had quite a few this year, a lot more than we normally would, and I promised that we would do more this year. And I'm hoping that we will do a lot more. But to be honest with you, we need to get input from people when we ask for it in the group because, it's not fair to either myself or the other admins and moderators to have to hold everybody's hand and spoon feed them. If you're going out flying and you want somebody to join you, post it in the group.
Yep.
You know, go ahead and do that. Or if you want, organize your own group fly. You know, we can do the official ones, but it doesn't mean that anybody can't do the unofficial ones. Like if you want to do it, feel free. You know, because believe it or not, sometimes it's actually kind of stressful organizing them because you're trying to think of where do people want to fly. You know, when do people want to fly, and it puts a kind of a burden on us on you know, trying to keep everybody happy, and we shouldn't, you know. So if you anybody that wants to post any kind of a group fly in there, go for it. We'll post official ones, but there's nothing says that we can't do unofficial ones by any member. And even if it's just like yourself and hey, I'm going flying. Anybody want to come with me? Just do it. I got absolutely no issues with that. So,
no, you'd be surprised how many people join up with you, and they're a lot of fun. I mean, I guess that's how we started, Lauren?
Yeah, that's how. I've met quite a few people in there, and through other groups is just, you know, I'm going flying. Anybody want to come? And probably the guy I've been flying with the longest. Haven't flown with him much lately, but been flying with him for 5 years. And yeah, we kind of met up on a thing, and we said, hey, going flying. Anybody want to come? And we kind of hooked up that way, and we've been flying together for about 4 or 5 years now. So,
yep.
But not only that, hey, great way to meet people. You know,
it is, and this group is here for you guys, right? So,
yep.
If you want, like Lauren says, you want to go? Let's go.
I've said it time and time again. This ain't my group; it's our group, and everything that we do is for the members. So, you know, I value everybody's input. Sometimes people might not like what I have to say, but I'm always going to tell you the truth. I guarantee you that. So,
yeah.
But what else can we talk about tonight? Big thing, like I say, people join in and make your own group flies. We'll definitely be putting together group flies, but and even if you just want one person to come and join you flying, or 100 people, just don't be afraid to put it up there. There's no nothing in the rules that says you can't. And we actually encourage it because people learn from each other, and it's fun. So,
absolutely.
Yep.
Let's talk about last week's International Drone Day fly.
Yeah,
that felt pretty good.
It was pretty good. And as typical, about the time we decide to leave is when the weather gets the best. Hey, what can you do? You know,
it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad at all.
No, it wasn't bad at all.
Not like last year.
I'd sincerely like to thank everybody that did make it out there, and it's much appreciated that you come. Unfortunately, I will say that I didn't socialize as much as I wanted to, because frankly, when I go out to fly, I enjoy going out and flying. You know, I didn't socialize as much as I should, but hey, oh well.
Yeah, I handed out a few stickers, and that was about it too. And same thing, right? Just wanted to fly. Wasn't sure if it was going to rain or not, so I figured, well, I better get on the sticks before something happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So. Hopefully everybody was there, enjoyed themselves, and sometime this year, and I'm not sure when, but I'm kind of thinking probably around the end of July. I would like to have, because I'm hoping by end of July, we should be getting rid of even more of our social distancing rules. But I'd like to try and just have an absolute mondo fly with, if we could get a freaking 100 guys out there, it would be so cool. Now, we're not going to put 100 drones in the air at the same time, but
that would not be good.
No. But it would be nice if we could get say 100 people out there, and we've got 15 or 20 maybe flying at a time, and people socializing at the same time, and stuff like that. I think that would be good. So guys, keep that in mind. Spread the word. See if we can't get a little excitement going on something like that. I'll see if I can't get a sponsor or two. And yes, maybe Dave, maybe even an air traffic controller. But see if I can't get a sponsor on board, and maybe we'll give away a few prizes. I gave away a prize this spring out of my own pocket, but I can't afford to do that too often.
Doug is very happy.
Yeah. So, but I'm going to see if I can't get some door prizes stuff. We'll try and put something on, like say, around the end of July. And unfortunately, the nature of the beast is that we have to do this on reasonably short notice, because typical Calgary, the forecast is no good for more than 48 hours. So, we can plan for it, but it probably be a 3-day notice at best. But does anybody feel like that's something they want to do? Talk about it in the group, and start spreading the word that we're thinking about doing this end of July. See if you can't generate a little excitement, because like I say, just for kicks and giggles, I'd like to see just how many people we can get. Actually, let's just look at this for a sec. You guys, fortunately or unfortunately, however you want to look at it, can't see some of the stuff that I can. I'm just looking at our group insights right now. So right now we have 670 members, and it's saying that we only have about 630 that are considered active. So the rest of those people, in other words, haven't logged on or anything in more than a month. Then that being said, it would be, considering we have even 630 members, it would be nice to get a little bit more participation from some people if we can get it. A lot of people will just go on strictly to get information, and that's fine. But it'd be nice to participate too. Know that you're alive and well, and a little bit social. So,
yep,
you're up for it. Cool. Me too.
That'd be good. That'd be fun.
Everybody, 2 thumbs up.
Thumbs up. So even if we got in the group, all right.
Oh yeah. Hey Leo, I heard you run into Lonnie today.
Leo, don't tell him. Nothing.
It's a secret.
Secret.
So I think we're about done then, because unless somebody, you guys in the chat there have got something you'd like us to discuss, then I think we're going to pull the pin. If you've got something, you got about 20 seconds, and then I'm no pressure. So, but anyway, yeah.
That big fly, we can extend that talk later too.
That was one other thing is, guys, if you have stuff that you want us to discuss in the show, please post it in the group, because a lot of this stuff, believe it or not, I actually do it off the top of my head, but sometimes it would be nice to have a day or two to prepare for it. So if you've got topics that you want us to bring onto the show, please do it. Post something in the group, or send me a message, or Lonnie or Doug, send us a message, and we can kind of prepare for it. As you can see, sometimes when I'm winging it here, I don't talk as long as I could, and we have a little bit shorter show than what we need. So I try and keep every show to be 30 minutes. I think I might get another guest or two in here before too long. I've been talking to one who's going to be a very, very special guest. He's, as far as I'm concerned, in the drone world, he's very much a superstar. And I've been talking with him recently, and unfortunately, he's over in Europe at the moment. Otherwise, he would be here tonight. So I'm hoping to get him on here in the next couple of weeks when he gets back from Europe. So we will wait and see, I guess.
Yep.
But in the meantime, and in between time, thanks everybody for joining in, and we will see you all next week.